Hi, folks. I want to spend this few moments talking to you now about this upcoming weekend. As you know, we're really blessed that we're able to get back into the churches this weekend for Sunday Masses. The thing that we have to realize that is when we go back this weekend, things are not going to look the same. They're not going to be the same. So you're going to hear me using the phrase quite a bit that we need to have patience with each other, okay? Patience with each other, because things are not going to look the same, and we're just going to have to make adjustments. That's the main thing I want us to remember too, is that what we're going to be doing this weekend is not necessarily put into stone. We're going to use this weekend as kind of a weekend to kind of just see how things are. And if we have to make some adjustments for the following weeks, we can. So we just all need to be patient with each other. We're facing a brand new situation, and as we always do here at Monmouth and Raritan Alexis, we figure it out and we get it done. So I just want to go over some highlights for this weekend. As far as the Mass schedule here at Monmouth, it is the same. There's a Mass Saturday night at 4:30. On Sunday, there's a Mass here at 8 o'clock. There's also Mass at 10. St. Teresa's Alexis Mass will be, as it always was, at 9:30 on Sunday. St. Patrick's schedule, we're doing a little change. On Saturday night, their Saturday night Mass will be at 4:30. And then they will also have their Mass at 8 a.m. on Sunday. We're being asked to limit the seating to 25% capacity. So when you come to any of the three churches, you're going to find a lot of the pews roped off. If you stop and you think about it, just think about it, you realize that 25% of the capacity isn't very much. So we're going to have to understand that, you know, we might have to make some alternate plans. The Sunday obligation dispensation from Bishop Janke is still in effect. So if you're feeling uncomfortable about going out and being in crowds, or perhaps you're one of the elderly members of our parish who are maybe more susceptible to the COVID, you might want to stay at home. Also, you might want to realize that perhaps maybe I can't go on Sunday, but maybe I can go to a weekday Mass. The live streaming of Masses are still going to happen. So once again, if you cannot make it to a Sunday Mass this weekend because of the size or whatever, you can always pick it up live stream. And once again, the dispensation is still in effect. So please remember that. When we come to Mass, and we're going to be asking the ushers at all three churches to be extremely kind, be very understanding to people. And people are going to have to understand that with only 25% capacity, we can't fit a whole lot of people into the churches. So hopefully this 25% capacity thing won't last very long, and we'll be able to open up some more pews. But that's kind of where we're at right now. As you enter any of the three churches, you're going to be asked to use a hand sanitizer that will be provided. We're also asking you to use it when you leave any of the three churches. If you come with your family and you're able to find a pew, sit together as a family. If you're coming as couples or as individuals, realize that you might have to spread out a little bit to make sure that the social distancing is being accomplished. We're being asked to wear masks at Mass unless we can maintain the social distancing. This comes from the diocese. So please remember to bring your mask. I know some of the parishes are going to have a few extra ones available, but I wouldn't count on a huge supply of those. So you might going to wear your mask when you come. When Mass happens, you'll find no missalettes in the pews, no hymnals in the pews. That's because the diocese is afraid that there might be some contamination from handling those books like that, so there is none available at any of the churches. We are allowed to have cantors, so you'll have to just sing through your Mass, okay? If you happen to be a Mass where there's music being provided, and cantor being provided. During the Mass, communion will be under one species, just as it is now. There is still no sign of peace. You will be directed by the ushers at the particular churches how to go to communion. There's only one communion line they're asking instead of two. I know at all of our churches we always have two communion lines down the main aisle. They're asking just one. And once again, as you're coming through communion, please try to maintain some social distancing. If you're a family, stay together. We're asking those folks who choose to take communion on the tongue if they could come last in the communion line. Once again, we just have to kind of work together on that. The offertory collection will be taken up at all three churches because we use the long-handled basket. We don't pass it from people to people. So there will be a collection. There will be no offertory processions at any of the churches. The gifts will be set up on the credence table. There will be lectors. There will be cantors at those particular masses. Like I said, you will have to try and just kind of figure it out, just like Father McShane and I are figuring it out. We just need to be patient with each other. It goes against my grain, the very essence of my being, to tell somebody, I'm sorry, we're full. But we're going to have to just realize that you might want to poke your head in and see if there's room, and if there's not, you might just have to realize, well, maybe I can go to a weekday Mass, because weekday Masses will start at the parishes this coming Monday. So there's plenty of room at weekday Masses. And once again, you may want to consider maybe, if I don't watch it on the live streaming, that perhaps maybe there's room at one of the other churches. St. Teresa's is a small community. It's a beautiful, beautiful church. There might be some extra room at St. Teresa's. But once again, I'm not asking for a stampede up to St. Teresa's and all of a sudden the people at St. Teresa's can't go to Mass in their own church. But there would probably be, I would say of the three of them, there probably might be a little more extra space at St. Teresa's and some of the other churches. Once again, just be patient with each other. Remember, the dispensations are still in place and there'll still be live streaming. As far as servers, we're really asking not to schedule any, but if any servers would really, really like to serve, you need to have your parents' written permission to do so, and you need to wear a mask. As far as confessions, we'll be having confessions from 3 to 4 here at Monmouth, but we're asking you to use the priest's sacristy, once again for social distancing. If any of our people come from confessions at Immaculate Conception and you can't do the stairs, please ask someone else who's going to let the priest know, and we'll come out to you, okay? So you don't have to worry about the steps. Also, as you're coming to line up for confessions, just do it at the main aisle, but once a day, and do some social distancing. St. Patrick's, that confessional's big enough. We'll just do it faced behind the screen there at St. Patrick's, and we should be all right. We're going to have, at the end of Mass, we'll have a table set up with some bulletins, not many, but we'll all have some bulletins available. Also, we're going to have some missalettes available for you to take home, because I knew a lot of you said to me you'd like to have the missalettes at home so you can follow along with the live stream Masses. So we're going to try to have some of those available also. The Word Among Us will also be available. Those you can pick up also. Take them home with you. Don't leave them there at the church. After all the Masses at all three churches, we're being asked to wipe down the pews with a disinfectant. We have Mrs. Ayers and a few of her helpers, but I know mostly Mrs. Ayers, and we're really indebted to Mrs. Ayers doing that here at Immaculate Conception. Bill Forker and the youth group got it all kind of lined up at St. Patrick's, and we'll get it lined up at St. Teresa's after their Mass. If you do happen to come to Mass at St. Patrick's and you might find the church crowded or full, I know that talking to some of the lay leaders out there at St. Patrick's are talking about perhaps having the speakers set up so you can at least hear the Mass out in your cars in the parking lot. And if that happens, one of the priests or the deacons will come out and bring you Holy Communion at St. Pat's. These things, like I said, are as of right now. We're going to see what it's like after the weekend. It's hard to plan for everything when you don't know. So we're going to use this weekend as kind of a learning experience for you, for Father McShane, and for myself. Don't be surprised if we have to do some adjusting in the future, perhaps change Mass times or whatever. But we just need to be willing to kind of go with the flow for the next few weeks until we kind of get everything kind of figured out and set up so we can all enjoy our Mass as much as possible. Like I said, hopefully soon we'll be able to lift this 25% attendance. So once again, let's just all be patient with each other. We've done such a good job here so far with all this facing us at all of our 3 different communities. And, God bless all of your hearts for doing the great job that you've been doing so far. So let's try this weekend and in the future to continue to watch out for each other, continue to be understanding with each other, and not lose patience, not get frustrated. It's easy to do. Believe me, been there, done that myself. But it's just important for us to just work with each other and continue to pray for each other and continue to watch out for each other. Once again, if you're uncomfortable about coming with the crowd size or whatever, the live stream Masses are still going on. The dispensation for Bishop Janke is still in effect. So don't worry about it if you can't make it to Sunday Mass. But I would encourage you to perhaps maybe think about trying to make a daily Mass or weekday Mass. I know there should be room there for that. Folks, God bless you. You make us all proud. You're strong witnesses to Jesus Christ and His love and His mercy. And Father McShane and I are so honored to be here among you and to see your strong faith lived out each day as you do. So God bless all of you, and we'll see you this weekend, and hopefully we'll get this all figured out. God bless. Bye-bye.